Hi, it's Cassie Oberg in Selinsgrove, Pennsylvania, and I am just here to do the second virtual crop from the December crop. We are just going to hop right to it. It's almost Christmas, so let's just have a little fun. Okay, so this was from the December virtual crop. This was crop 2, and again, it was a single page, and I spread it into a double page. And let's just take a look at this. So over here, I chose to keep this background mostly as is. I took this, and to make it look like it went underneath, I just took my ruler and measured how much room I had for each section. So here I needed to do like 1.5 top and bottom, and about 7 inches in between in order to make that work. And then I felt like it needed a little bit of definition. So I added these molten lava plum stripes to it, and I popped this picture up a little. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the second page, but what we're going to do is we're going to reverse it so that this part is over here. We're going to talk about how to make these skinny strips, how to make that easier to cut. And then we are actually going to switch our photos to horizontal on the opposite side and add a journal mat. So let's make all that happen. The first thing that we need to do is grab our beautiful green leaf paper, and it needs to be 4 inches. So we're just going to cut this at 4 inches. And then, and I think I got that a little bit crooked. I did. The angle of my head was just totally off. So there we go. Let's make it an actual 4 inches. Good job. Love how I congratulate myself there. Then we need a 1/2 inch piece. I mean a 1.5 inch piece to go up top. We're going to want a 7 inch piece for the middle. And then, of course, a 1.5 inch piece again for the bottom. And it is important that you use those little lines to measure, so you don't do what I just did and cock your head and cut it crooked. Thankfully, it's easily fixed. Okay, so now we're going to take our 1.5. It's going to go all the way up here at the top. We're going to take our other 1.5. Whoops. I'll tell you what. Some days, this is why I'm a big fan of repositionable tape. So scoop that off of there. And now, remember, we're doing it on the opposite side, as our sketch shows, because it is the page to go across from this one. I like those flowers that way better. And then our 7 inch in the center. Okay, there we go. And that gets centered. And now what we need is a little bit of definition. So we're going to use this beautiful molten lava, which, you know, I've been on a kick. So sorry if you're not a molten lava fan, because that's what I've been on a kick using, having a lot of fun with it. And I'm going to pull my sticky mat over. My friend Lanita taught me this a while back, and I'll tell you what, it's really a game changer. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to just run a little more tape on here. This one stays sticky all the time. I store it under here, but I took it out before we started because sometimes my hands get nervous on camera and it's harder to get out. And then we're just going to measure right between, we're going to do this skinny piece. It's going to go right between the two cut lines to do 1/8 of an inch. But because I made it sticky, it's going to cut a lot smoother. So, and I'm going to just do that. I need 4 of these. And if I didn't use a sticky mat, that would be a real bear to do, because it takes a lot of precision to get it just right. And if you don't use the sticky mat, then it tends to slide away from you. So here we go. And last one, should still have enough stick to hold it. And then next time I'll need to re-stick it. But see how nice that cuts whenever you put that down. Okay, get that out of our way. I'm going to take my sticky mat out so that I don't accidentally use that on paper that I'm trying to cut and keep. So, love how nice and easy it is to just switch that out. And now, I'm going to bring my mat over here so that I can use it for measuring purposes. So I'm going to put my molten lava side up. And I want it to be right up against the green top and bottom. Just take my time and get it right on here. Go all the way across. This lined up. And that way I can get it straight. Yeah, I don't know how somebody would cut these little tiny things without using a sticky mat, because it has a tendency to slide and then you end up with crooked. And when they're this skinny, you can really see the crookedness. So I'm going to add a little bit right there. I didn't quite get the end of there. Oh, okay. Need a new tape refill. Thankfully, I just keep a little stack over here in my work area. My checklist gets bigger and bigger all the time. Don't forget this, Cassie. Don't forget that, Cassie. Try not to run across the room, Cassie. I have a lot of discussions with myself. Okay. Right across. Lining it up. And finally this one. And see how that just gave it a whole other look, just adding these little tiny pieces. Just defines that border through the middle. It doesn't take a lot of time and it uses up so much less paper. Okay, so now we are switching this to 2 vertical pictures instead of 2 horizontal pictures. I'm going to go over here. We're going to put a journal box over there. So let's go ahead and cut these. Absolutely love, love, love our trimmer. I'm going to cut this way down. Photo trimmer is absolutely the best. And I'm going to bring it down to 2 3/4 and really focus in on my family playing Monopoly. Then I'm going to grab the other picture. And this one, I'm just going to cut a little teeny tiny bit off the bottom. So I'm going to just cut a 1/4 inch off the bottom. My kiddos hanging out. They are so much fun. And then I'm just going to grab a bunch of scraps. So I think this one might work for here. Yep. So I need it to be 6 1/4. Love how long this photo trimmer is now. So you can actually do 6 1/4. And then it was 2 3/4 this way. So we're going to just do 4. Oh, no, it was, 2 3/4. So we're going to do 3. There we go. That makes more sense. It's like, wait a minute. It was bigger. How does that make sense? There we go. And then this one we cut at 3 3/4 by 6 1/4. So I should think this one might be, yep. Okay, so we got to do 6 1/4 by 4. Wow, these scraps were almost perfect. Love using up my scraps. I always try for that first. So now we've got my kiddos matted. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I didn't have another photo for this particular day, but I do have some stories to tell, like about how competitive Miss Adriana and I are when we play Family Monopoly. A little bit of competitiveness there. Okay, this is going to go all the way down to the purple. There we go. A little bit of competitiveness happens. So I am going to tell the story in the little journal box. And so to make that, we are going to measure over 3.5, cut down to 3.5, flip, measure over to 3.5. And I always cut my journal paper like this because then it gives me the most use out of that white paper because I never know what the next size is going to be. So I just kind of take the little hunks out of it, and that works out really, really well for me. So now, and I use the big line size almost all the time because my handwriting is kind of big and sloppy, but I still write because someday I won't be here, and that will have a lot of meaning to my kids. So I want them to have that. And then we're just going to put this down, peel off the backs of our foam squares, and see how nice and simple sketch 2 was for the virtual crop. So at this point, we're 2 days out from Christmas, and I hope you are all having a wonderful holiday. I'm going to pop this right up over here, and now we have a double page spread. It flows nicely together. Okay. Merry Christmas, everybody, and I will see you next week. Have a great day.